Namaste, beautiful yogis. Today's class is a strong standing sequence that focuses on core strength and standing balances. We're gonna deepen our core connection and work on developing calm, centered, grounded awareness. Standing balances have that ability innate in them. They require from you to be grounded, like a tree spreading its roots down, and at the same time calm as a tree in a storm, standing still, standing straight and steady. We're gonna work on strengthening the lower body, deepening the breath, calming the mind. This is a preview of some of the poses that are included in this class. We're also gonna stretch at the end. I'm including a few floor stretches, some twists, and as you can see here, some hip openers. This is a standing hip opener, which develops your strength and your balance at the same time. This is another hip opener, and let's begin at the front of our mats. Feet are hip width apart, hands over the heart. Begin to deepen your breath. As you inhale, feel a lift through the crown of your head. And let's open the palms of the hands forward. Allow your chest to open and shoulders to drop away from the ears. And let's stay here for a moment, listening to a Tibetan singing bowl, allowing everything to come into the center. And begin to radiate out. And let's glide the right hand down the right leg. Reach with your left hand up and over. Side bend. Lengthening both sides of the torso, switching sides over to the opposite side. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Extending the tailbone slightly down. Back to center, reach over your head, exhale, folding forward. Hands on the shin bones or on the floor, and step back into plank. Spread the fingers wide open and open the chest. Here I'm demonstrating the first exercise. We're gonna cross touch the toes in plank 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's take plank. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Tuck the tailbone under, press all 5 toes of each foot down, the nails, the top of the foot, and back to Chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Spread the fingers wide open. Lift your tailbone as high as you can and slowly walk your hands back in towards your feet. Wrap your wrists around your elbows and allow your upper body to hang. Great, let's bring the hands on the shin bones, come up to standing, reach over your head, press the palms together and reach side to side, side bends. Keeping the hips steady here and the tailbone extended down so that you can really access the obliques. A few more. Keep lengthening through both hands here. Elbows are straight. And let's come back to center. Exhale, down, forward bend. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to Chaturanga, hold. Plank and downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between your hands. Come up, warrior 1. Hips are facing forward, working on squaring the hips. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Palms of the hands are facing each other. Open the arms out and step your back foot a little further back, warrior 2. Relaxing the shoulders. Softening your breath. Softening the face muscles. Soft palms to the hands and let's turn the right palm up and walk. The left hand down the left leg, reverse warrior. Keep bending the front knee. Stay deep in your warrior. And transition into side angle, lengthening through the fingertips on your left hand. Relax your shoulder. Opening the entire left side of the body up, rotating up. Release the hands on the floor. Low lunge. Tuck your tailbone under here and press the back heel away from you. Roll on the outer edges of your feet. Opening the hip here. Feel your hip here and just sink, breathe into it. You will find the exact place where it serves you the best. Coming out of this, hands on the floor, plank, chaturanga, upward facing dog, and back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pressing the hips as high as you can. Inhale, left leg up, step the foot between your hands, come up. Warrior 1. Working on squaring the hips. Rotating the outer left thigh forward internally. And let's open into Warrior 2, aligning the knee with your toes. Keep the connection with your core. Keep opening the right hip. And reverse the warrior. Keep the knee bent. Turning the palm of the hand down, spinning the triceps in. Side angle. Hand on the floor on the inside of the left foot, and extend the right hand up and over your head. Turn the palm of the hand down. That protects your shoulder. Keep tucking the tailbone under. Keep working on the alignment. Hands on the floor. Low lunge. Press the back heel away from you. Extend the tailbone down towards your heel. Roll on the outer edges of your feet. Right hand on the floor. Breathe into your hip here. Great. And step into plank chaturanga, upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga, hold. Plank, downward facing dog. This is as a part of our chaturanga challenge. I'm adding chaturanga holds here and there. Inhale, right leg comes up. Step the right foot between your hands and come up, warrior 2. Externally rotating the left hip, sink deep into your warrior. Align the right knee with your toes. Relax your shoulders, relax the palms of your hands. Soften your gaze, cultivate inner smile. Corners of the lips are smiling. And let's straighten the right leg. Triangle pose, reach way ahead of you. Lower your hand down on the floor on your shin bone. Lengthen the sides of your torso. Continue opening the left hip. Reach up and over your head. Feet are active. And let's bring the hands on the floor between the legs. Wide-legged forward bend. Walk the hands to the back of the room. Come up. Warrior 2. Pressing in the outer edge of the right foot here. Straightening the leading leg, reach way ahead of you, and lower down triangle pose. Keep pressing into the outer edge of the back foot, lifting the arch of the foot. Reach up and over your head with your right hand. Lengthen. Feel this through your kidneys, through your internal organs. And let's bring the hands on the floor, facing the back of the room, chaturanga hold. Upward facing dog, extending the tailbone down. Very important. And back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg up. Open the hip. Bring the knee all the way up, bend the knee. And drop the foot behind you. You can transition into wild thing. Optional. Lift the hips as high as you can and lengthen. Extend the tailbone down. And slowly coming back to one-legged downward dog. Step the right foot between your hands and come up, warrior 1. Working to square the hips. Coming back to that work. And warrior 2. Sinking deep into your standing poses. Opening the left leg. Reversing the warrior, right hand reaches up and over the head. Keep the knee bent here, don't lose the connection with your leg and with your knee. Side angle, right hand on the floor, lengthen the sides. Either stay here or you can clasp behind, bound side angle. Really opening the left side of the body up and peeling the right rib cage off of your leg. And release. Walk your hands to the center of your mat between your legs, forward bend, wide-legged forward bend. Great, and let's walk the hands to the front of the room. Warrior one, come up. Reaching equally up through all 5 fingertips so that the shoulder is aligning. And open into warrior two. Relax your shoulders. Soften your gaze. Reverse the warrior, reach up and over your head. Really lengthening the right side as well as the left side of your body. Keep the knee bent. Finding integrity in your poses. Keeping that integrity. Spin the palm of your hand down towards the floor. Coming out of this into side angle. Lengthen your torso through the crown of your head. Either stay here or you can clasp behind, bound side angle. Look past your shoulder, past your right shoulder. The legs are very strong here. The core is working. And release, hands on the floor, stepping into plank. Hold. And here we're gonna, you can see this, we're gonna twist the hips. Small twist side to side, 10 times. Really feel your core here. Keep the connection. Chaturanga. Hold. Plank. And again, chaturanga, upward dog. Really try to find a place where you enjoy upward dogs. Chaturanga plank, side plank. Left hand on the floor, reach with your right hand. Lift your hips, keep your belly in. Extend your top hand up and over your head. Back to plank, chaturanga plank. Opposite side, side plank. Lifting hips are on top of each other. Shoulders on top of each other. Reach up and over your head. And back to plank, chaturanga plank. And press back in downward facing dog. Great. Spread the fingers open. Take the left leg up. Lift your knee as high as you can. Bend your knee. And either stay here or transition in wild thing. Take your tailbone under here. Open the chest. And back to plank, chaturanga, upward dog. Chaturanga, downward facing dog. Breathe. Walk your hands towards the back of the room. And just allow your body to hang, wrapping the hands around your elbows. Feel your head heavy here. As if it's so heavy, it's allowing your spine to decompress from the upright position we keep our spines in all day long. Great. Hands on the hips, come up to standing with a flat back. Sophie's sighing behind me. And repose. Right foot on the inside of the left leg, either on the inside of the left thigh, or if you're working on balances and they're challenging for you, you can place your foot on your calf and you can even touch your toes to the floor. Work your way up to a balancing pose. Here we're opening the right knee out to the side, trying to keep the body in one plane. Reach over your head, optional, and see if you can bend to your left. Challenging the balance here. Back to center. And let's bring the ankle over the left knee. Press your right knee away from you to open the hip here and squat. One-legged chair. Reaching over the head, pull the belly in, breathe into your hip. And coming out of this, let's transition into warrior three. Left hand on the floor, standing half moon pose. Open that right hip on top of the left hip. Work on bringing the hip over the left hip. And the shoulders are in the same plane as well. Great. From here, transition back into warrior three, hands over the heart. Still standing, trying not to touch the floor. Come up to standing. Left knee into your rib cage. Grab your big toe with the opposite hand, right hand, left foot, and slowly look back. Come back to this sequence a few more times. Come back to this balancing if it challenges you. And from here, you're gonna just grab your foot behind you with your left hand, extend the knee down and tuck the tailbone under. Reach up with your right hand and release. Okay, we're done with one side. Tree pose. Left foot in. Hands over the heart. Keep opening the knee out to the side. Keeping your body in one plane as much as you can. Press the foot into your thigh and the thigh back into the foot. They're really making a contact connection. Hands over the head. This is optional. See if you can bend, side bend. Over to your left. Again, keeping everything in the same plane, opening the right rib cage. Back to center. Focus your breath. And let's bring the ankle over the knee here. Press the hips back. Sit in chair pose. One-legged chair pose. Belly in. Sit a little deeper. Allowing the knee to open away from you. And let's bring the hands on the hips. Coming up to standing, bring your knee into your rib cage and bring the right hand on the left foot or on the toes, grabbing the big toe. Look back. Here you're using the rotational power of your midsection to look back and transition. Foot behind you, tuck the tailbone under. Reach with your right hand up, extend the knee down, breathe into your quadriceps. Great. Warrior three. Square the hips. Press the back heel away from you, and we're going to transition into standing half moon pose. Aligning the hips on top of each other, flex the foot, pull the toes back in towards you. Make a connection with the inner edge of your standing foot here. Great. Hands on the floor. Step back in plank. Lower down chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the right leg up. Step the right foot between your hands and come up. High lunge. Pressing the back heel away from you, hands in prayer. Bring the left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Open the chest. Drop the shoulders down. Keep pressing the back heel straight up and away from you. Coming back up. High lunge. Lower the back knee down on the floor. Crescent. Lunge. And let's bring the forearms on the floor on the inside of the right foot. Walk your left knee a little further back. Stretching the quadriceps again. This is great for balancing your hips, your posture, your lower back. Great. Step back, plank, chaturanga hold. Upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga and exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg up. Step the left foot between your hands, come up, high lunge. Extending the tailbone down. Hands in prayer, twist. Right elbow on the outside of the left knee, look over your left shoulder. Exhale, soften your belly, twist a little deeper. Use your elbow here to go a little deeper. Great. Coming back out of this lunge. Lower the knee, crescent lunge. And bring the forearms on the floor on the inside of the left foot. Walk the right knee further back. Breathe. Soften your breath. Great. Slowly coming back up, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog, lifting through your tailbone here to decompress the spine. Keeping the ears between the triceps. Belly in, working the bandhas. And let's walk the hands to the center of the mat, feet to the center of the mat to meet the hands. Forward bend. Grab your calves. Let your head be heavy. Don't hold your head here. Let it hang. And let's bring the left hand around the left thumb. It's a bit tricky. The next pose is a bit tricky. You're going to begin to open the leg out to the side. And then with a flat back, come up to standing, holding your foot out. Look away from your foot. You can go back, see how this looks. Come back to the class. And from here, bend the knee. Guide your left knee over your right knee, wrapping them around each other. Left elbow underneath the right elbow. Eagle. And press your elbows up. Great. Coming out of this. Lift over your head. Exhale, folding forward. Over to the opposite side. Right hand, right big toe. Left hand is on the left hip. Open the leg out. This requires balancing stability, flexibility. Come up to standing. Work on it. Look away from your foot. Looking forward, we're gonna bend both knees and bring the right knee over the left. Wrap the leg around the standing leg. Right hand forward, left over the right. Wrap them around each other. Press them up to open the shoulders. Sit back. And release. Inhale, reach over your head. Coming onto the tippy toes here. Hands over the heart. Pointing. Clasping the fingers, only the index fingers are pointing. Begin to squat down here. Balance. Coming into a full squat if you can, or you can keep your thighs parallel to the floor. And we're gonna set up for crow's pose. Knees high on the triceps. Begin to lift your feet off the floor. And I'm gonna begin to work to straighten my arms here. Belly in. Jump back, plank. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Back to chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Plank, side plank. Left hand on the floor. Reach in front of you and grab your foot and open it up. Side plank, toe hold. And here you can guide your foot to the front of the mat into a form of a lunge, rolling on the outer edges of the feet one more time. Feel your hip. I love this pose. It's a fluid way of working on the hip opener. And now we're gonna lower the shin bone on the floor for pigeon. Look over your left shoulder. Flex your foot. Open the rib cage away from your hips. Keep your spine elongating. Reach over your head. You can stay here or you can lower down. And breathe. We're gonna do a shorter pigeon here. Feel free to stay a little longer if you have the time today to do that. Breathe into your hip. Slowly coming back up. And draw a few circles with your knee. Moving in any way your body wants you to move. Follow the natural drive of your body to move here. And step it back down. Let's switch sides. Right hand on the floor. Bring your leg in front of you and open it out above you. Guide your foot to the front of your mat and roll on the outer edges of your feet here. Look back and feel your hip opening. This is the opposite of squaring the hips. This is a totally asymmetrical pose and I love it. It's more fluid. And here we're gonna lower the shin bone on the floor. Prepare for pigeon. Flex your foot. Reach with your hands over your head, keeping the rib cage lifted. Look over your left shoulder. And keeping the spine elongated, lower down. Breathe. Come back to your breath. Cultivating softness in your breath, depth, connection. Slowly coming out of this, move your right leg in any way you need to move. And here we're gonna cross the right Foot in front of the left and walk the hands back in a forward bend, feet crossing. You can walk your hands to the left and right. Walk to the front of your mat and now cross the feet the opposite way, left over the right, and walk back. Forward bend. Breathe into your hamstrings. And slowly walk the feet forward. Now drop the way your feet are crossed. Drop your knees on the floor and come down into a seated pose. Working the heels towards each other. The right knee is underneath the left knee. Clasp your hands behind you if you can, and you can bend forward if you can. Right elbow by the right rib cage, left elbow up by the ear. Breathe into your shoulders, hips. Soften. Slowly coming out of this. And let's bring the hands on the floor to your right without moving the feet off the floor. Walk your hands to the other side and you will end up on the opposite side. Right knee on top of the left. Right elbow up, left elbow by your rib cage. Clasp. If you can use a towel or just touch your back. Fold forward only if it feels appropriate for you. Obviously, this pose requires a lot of flexibility, so listen to your body. Always listen to your body first. And that is the benefit of a home practice. You're not competing with anyone. No one is pushing you to do any poses here. You're always first checking in with your own body. And coming out of this, it allows you to be more centered and more aware of your own body. Let's bring the legs in front of us, shake them. Open the legs out, flex your feet, and we're gonna anchor the sitting bones back so they don't roll forward with us. Lower your chest forward, keep the back straight. Lower as far down as you can, of course. Keep the integrity of the pose. Even if it means you're just sitting here. Sometimes for some of my students, it's enough to just open the legs out and have their back to a wall, because even that can feel challenging. Coming back up, and let's bring the right elbow on the floor. Reach over your head with your left hand. You can lower here, gliding the shoulder down towards the floor. Change sides. Keep flexing the feet, keep anchoring the opposite leg down. And you can deepen. Slowly coming back up. Bring your legs hip width apart. Shake them. And oh, we're gonna be headed for a treat here. Abs. So we're gonna bring elbow to opposite knee here. Sitting halfway up. 20 times. Keep your back straight, lower back straight. If you can't keep your back straight, do regular bicycle. The way I'm bringing my feet together in between each move allows me to actually work harder. Keep pressing the belly in. Take a break. Hands behind the head, and we're gonna do a different version, as you can see, 10 of this same movement. Keep bringing the feet together in between each move if you want to make this harder. Rest. And again, regular bicycle here, but slow. Then keep your belly in. Here the point is to keep the connection with your belly and don't let it pop out. If your belly pops out, come back to it, push it back in. We're developing working on building a strong abdominal wall. Keep your elbows back, chest open, don't pull on your neck. Great. And now we're gonna continue with bicycle with straight legs. 10. And bring the soles of the feet together. You can cross your feet here and bring elbow to opposite knee. 10. And 10 more. And now hold low boat pose, inner thighs squeezing towards each other. Great. Soles of the feet together. Open the palms of the hands up towards the ceiling, reclining baddha konasana. Soften your belly, soften your breath. Keeping the eyes closed, soften your inner gaze. Either stay in reclining baddha konasana, or you can straighten your legs one at a time for shavasana, the final relaxation, allowing the world around you to melt, slowly melting away, and you are slowly becoming heavier and heavier, sinking through your mat, sinking through the floor. And as your body becomes heavy, you start to feel lightness, freedom, openness to the present moment, acceptance of the present moment, peaceful, quiet acceptance, inner joy. To be you, to be here, to be experienced this moment. And as you exhale, feel your body softening further, melting further into the floor, becoming heavier yet lighter, as if you are becoming to float over the floor. And everything around you slowly fading away, allowing you for the next few moments to just feel and see and hear your heart. And slowly begin to bring yourself back to awareness, back to this room, paying attention to everything around you, the sounds, the sensations, the way the air feels on your skin, the way the floor feels underneath you. Slowly move your toes and fingers and roll onto your side, laying on your side embryo in the womb pose, extending your umbilical cord into the center of the earth, connecting with your symbolic mother. Slowly press yourself gently up into a seated pose. Cross-legged seated, easy pose, Sukhasana, hands over the heart, and bow to your heart for its forgiveness, compassion, and love. Namaste.